All right, here we go here we go again. Buckle up. We're going to do some midday prayers. Weirdo people around here. Canada's got the weirdest people. They like to step for the wild. Robots. Robots for Satan. Right. So one of the things when you wake up, you start noticing this connection to certain people. And whoa, Mr. Pickup Truck, slow yourself down, bro. Well, some of it's just satanic connection. They're robot people because they're again they look like they're clean people, but they're not. Oh no, the whole thing's designed to make somebody paranoid, but of course it's going to make you look paranoid because everybody's going to deny that it's the truth. I think today everybody knows somewhat. I haven't broken into any communities of people lately. But, so that was just Satan stance probably just happening. And one pickup truck was going the other direction. But what they'll do, one of the things is while you're leaving your place of residence, when they're trying to make you a homebound person, destroy your life and cause you to sit at home all the time. And it isn't a safety factor. It's actually unsafe for people not to be able to socialize. So again, their psychology is bullshit created by Satan to deceive the entire world. But they'll do this thing while you're departing your residence. Vehicles will come by you going with they'll project the inference. Go back home, and it'll be driving the direction of your house. Right. Like little side streets where you normally don't see a lot of traffic. Ah, they're sick people, man. They ain't got no good to give, and again, they really ain't got no reason to live. I'm not telling you to kill them, but God should take them and move them on. I got work to do the day I'm done with my work. I'm sure God will move me along. Obviously, I wasn't done when I had to go to the LDS church and find them out. Not what God had hoped. I mean, we're just hoping to find a church home kind of deal. Right. Now, because now I can verify and qualify and quantify and uh, testify and witness to what everybody else is saying about that church being the truth. Matter stalkers, man, they're weird. Who knows what they're really doing? I'm sure they support narcotics distribution and sex trafficking in some way. Get paid to do it. A lot of cops get paid to do that. They just, over here investigating, but not over there, kind of deal. Right. So the people over there, they're paying them. People that they're investigating aren't paying. That's how it works. Crazy world. That's so weird that this is an appointment. I'm just going to pick up stuff. Right. But the rules are the rules. Right. Well, because I'm trying to time it perfectly. It's like there's no way to do it. I don't feel like just sitting over there. Yeah, there's some. I know hemlock is in a lot of communities, but it's again how you see it, how God causes you to see it. Well, hemlock is poison, and right, got a hemlock. Hemlock in Overland Park hit me like, eh. Right. No, they know they have the ability to block people metaphysically. But again, they get paid a lot of times to do the physical, but also the physical. When they act out physically in these fake investigations, Satan gives them additional Satan power, which is really anti-power, but metaphysical power. That's also why they do it. It isn't just physical payment; they get metaphysical Satan payment, which includes willing people to sex. Right. So if they will like a sex victim into a sex crime, saying it's an official investigation, they're already a sex criminal, and it's all. Although, of course, somewhere along the way that's true. Okay. Then Satan gives them the power of sex. Suck you, be incubate. So anybody I want to sex with, they can sex with. Not necessarily saying they're sexual, because some of them are just those weirdos, those sociopath weirdos get sexual pleasure. Right. So I don't know. Pittsburgh has its pluses. I really wish I could have just live in like Arizona or actually New Mexico, right? But there was no way. Again, they're not gonna let you live anywhere really, but well, the problem with Altoona, there's not many options. Right. So I can't like just go to another physically. I used to shop at a bunch of different stores. They driving around, healing the community while I drive. See, this is a place I was going to live. I guess what's it called again? Siam. Siam was where I was going to live. I'd probably have been healthier there. I couldn't get there. I couldn't break through the mines. Right. Well, I thought everybody had to do valet trash, and you accumulate trash. I don't want sitting around my apartment till the next day. Sometimes I'll take it out. Right. I just not into somebody waiting on me for trash. Also, I'm like, I mean, maybe when I get older, like when I don't know how long I'm gonna live, but I don't like people waiting on me like that. I don't want, like, I understand it's a job, people collect trash, but I don't want, anybody to, if I can do it, I'll do it. Right. Here we are heading in another cool weather cycle. What I had known before I moved here, I'd off. Again, like I said, they blocked. What happened in the VA is they didn't want it proven that I had hearing issues because I told the deep state, issues. I apologize if I was speaking loudly. I don't realize something. Like they gave me something, but they didn't give me like, where I had serious hearing loss. And I was supposed to get a hearing aid. So which really set into motion a series of things that caused my hearing probably to get worse, not knowing that it was so bad. Right. When you get the hearing aid, then you figure it out. Oh, I'm a disabled person. They abused me. I have no victims. Nobody is my victim. I'll tell you that. That's one of the scams. Well, what about his victims? They're sicko pieces of shit. Right. They've caused rapes and murders, and what I received over the years, that it's psychically verified, 100%. And I think I read a couple news articles where they said this is probably one of those cases. Right. They caused their own children to be raped and murdered because they were using them as bait. And then somebody lost control. I mean, cops mess up all the time, right? Like I'm in the cop thing. I'm using too much effort. Right. The cops mess up all the time. I'm in the ICE thing, I think. So I'm in something. Well, cops mess up all the time. So if you running that kind of on the edge thing, it's not even illegal. A lot of times, just on the side, they're not telling anybody. So they have, like, I would go to a store and these mothers would bring their kids, and they want me to focus on them sexually, but they would create bullshit like scenarios. Like the one girl would stop in front of me and act like she was scared and shit, like the adults are doing. See how they do that? So what they do is they cause the adults and the children to be blended in your mind. And if they break your mind, then you think it's okay to have sex with a kid, right? I couldn't like me. if you're Epstein, you find a beautiful woman and marry the rest of your life. But I never understood it when I first saw it. I knew it was a like he was hit metaphysically. I just don't know what his culpability is. Right? Theoretically, he passed whatever it was at the end of life. Right? He passed go, got us $200. Well, because it's not. God tells you it's not what you think it is. He may have been a victim, man. I mean, people are victims every day. They're metaphysical victims. I hate to come at this time of day, this place. I shouldn't have done this. All the retirees are. I know I'm a retiree, but it's not. I'm not into like the big like retirees like being around retirees. And if the big crowd rushes, everybody here. I can tell people I live around is evil because I see some of these people ain't evil. I forget. I don't get out as much as I used to. I can see some of the normal people now. Everybody around me got hired pretty much. A bunch of, well, not everybody, but a bunch of them. Right. My one neighbor, he smokes dope a bit. I thought he was part of it, but he wasn't. I think they thought I was part of it. Right. No, it's like the political officers in the Communist Party. That's what's going on in the United States, but it's conservative also. Right. Well, they're doing the same operation. I know the KGB set it up. I know it's these, I know the billionaires, the Russian billionaires and multimillionaires were paying, Fed agents and stuff and putting them in. Again, a couple surfaced, but there's a lot more than that. Like, once you're like a victim of the deep state, like this guy over here might be deep state. Because they know who you are without you knowing who they are. Right. So they look at you, but they don't look at you the right way. Now he could be a crook. I got my sheriff's department license plate on. I got the sheriff or whatever sheriff's. I don't have any branches. That was my license plate. What was the one from? Oh, Florida Sheriff's Association plate. I still got that on my vehicle. Oh, hi, you awake? I'm gonna wake you up. The rest of the way. Yeah, there she is with her hand. She's putting her hand out. She's a healing hand. When the kids put their hands out and you see it, that means they're a healing hand. So you again. This is not a perverted word. You turn them on for it. You turn them up and on for it, or whatever word you want to use. Well, they're God's healers. They're here. They're signing. I'm a kid. Save me. Wake me up. Or they're gonna make me. They're gonna make me some cops. Uh, you know. Uh, uh, what do they call that? Sex crime victim. Well, actually, cops are at risk of being sex criminals because they're being cursed to it, and then they're around the people that are doing the sex operations. Their coworkers are part. So if you're out doing a coworker, they might send the sex squad after you to sexualize you and ruin you. That's what it's about, ruining people. I mean, they're sick. They'll go to hell. They just want to say the saviors of the world. Worst type of criminal. My one neighbor was around, man. She nuts. I knew there was foreshadowing because she hasn't been around. And God's like, she hasn't been around a while. Ain't seen her. Yeah. Trying to actually, Satan was trying to convince me that she never did anything wrong. That she was a good person, but she just tried to stare me down and curse me again. And my neighbors were part of it. The one neighbor totally stepped out of it. He wanted nothing to do with it. The other one, she I guess they offered her money. Yeah, I could have been rescued. Again, I was going to live a pain free life, and they didn't want it. That's what happened. And they didn't remember they do this to hundreds and hundreds of people. It's not about sex around. Again, they're playing a game out. Right? Epstein may have just been operated and manipulated by the sex squads into being that. Right. and they use them as dirty people. Like, it doesn't mean that he's part of the spy operation, but it means, and he could be, but it means that they dirty Prince Andrew, they dirty Trump, just by the nature of what Epstein was doing, whether they were part of it or not. Dershowitz, everybody, I've seen it over the years that they're using it against them. Like, I know what I'm seeing, right? Like, when I say certain things, that means they're trying to use it against me. I just explained how they tried to use it against me, right? So what they're doing also, like, I caught them. There was a woman that tried to get me attracted to, and again, it's got to be it. To me, I thought it was something physical. Like, there's a ray in the TJ Maxx that maybe turned me on or something. I'll say it was crazy. It was an intense sexual feeling. I'm walking to, and I don't have those. I have it. It's pretty controlled. When I'm if I'm in a private space, it's the only place where it really generally happens. But they try to turn it on in massage therapy in Santa Fe, and they couldn't do it. And that's why they made up the bullshit story, right? But I was telling people that they were doing it. So I walk in and I feel this intense sexual feeling. I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's this woman that I was noticing that I was couldn't figure out whether she was deep state or you know, just somebody I was seeing. What they do is, they metaphysically, they have a whole, like, probably 30 people that are told what the game is. It's a game. It's not law enforcement, even though it involves law. So they all use their satanic ability to will the sexuality on the victim, and the stalking, and I can't break free of this person. I used to speak out in Miami. One of the neighbors, Cuban neighbors downstairs, there's a family downstairs, and they in South Beach, and the guy came up to me, he goes, "How do I break free from a woman?" She did it. So he knew I was a metaphysical guy, right? He was trying to figure out what was going on in his life because somebody was doing it to him, right? Yeah, women can do that alone, but these are bigger operations, way bigger, right? So they were willing sexual feeling between me and that woman. It was very intense. Well, I broke free pretty quick from it. At a certain point, she kept coming up my views. So I said, "Hey, if you want to go work out," she was supposedly disabled. I didn't believe for a second she was disabled, really. I mean, I did and I didn't. Until you prove that you're disabled, I believe it's a scam from some dirty cop trying to do something dirty, right? But I don't think she was disabled like that. I thought it was an act. But what they did is they disappeared her for a period of time, and then they brought little girls around that had the same appearance she had. So again, that's a form of entrapment, because you're psychologically, again, this is a form of entrapment that they don't want to ever go down and talk about because they're using it. It's CIA level psychological manipulation. That's entrapment. Right? Sexualizing somebody, not allowing any type of interaction with a woman, then bringing kids around that have the same appearance while willing up sexuality. Right? They're devils, man. Every last one of them's a full born devil, and they're going straight to hell. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God and all.